Hello, my dear friends. It's me again with ELENA'S Impactful Body Workouts. I'm with Piki, the founder of the community. We are talking about an interesting topic here, the family dynamics again, the cheating in the family. We are talking about husbands and wives and why do women cheat on men and the other way around. Okay, let me ask you, why do men cheat on a woman when they are in the family?
The men, it's different reasons, could be psychological, could be physical. If the woman is not able to provide the man enough sex, then he goes outside, If man is looking for some excitement, and with that woman, if he finds it that there is no excitement, he'll go outside. If man is looking for variety, he's not happy with what he has, he's going to go outside. So there are so many reasons why men would go outside the marriage to have sex. Is a difficult thing to answer, but men do, so does women do too, and it's not the reason why they are doing it, but I think it could be that we are not supposed to do. That's why the religion or all the societies in the olden days enforced having sex within the marriage all the time, because they knew it's very common to have happen. So they keep on enforcing it. And it did work in a lot of cases, and some cases it didn't. People ignored the teachings of the society, and they still kept doing it. Maybe were doing it under the table or secretly or whatever the way they might have been doing, and it still goes on. It just is the nature. It's just I think when a person isn't happy, is not satisfied, he will cross all the barriers, whatever is put on him, and his desire will take him what he wants to do. And
but then
when
I have
that
a question. If they choose to cheat, right, before they get married or after they get married, they choose to cheat on their partner, why to get married? Why to bother? If you want to hang out, if you want to have as much fun, right, as you can, have as many partners as you can, they basically dating non-exclusively with anybody, why to bother? Why to marry?
I think when they get married, at that particular moment, that point, him and her, they both think that this is it, that what they wanted, they have it, and they're going to get married and will stay together. But with period of time, the things don't work out, I mean, some other desires pop up or something else happens between both of them. Who starts first, we don't know, because most of the time it's a secret, they
It
are.
doesn't even matter, once somebody starts it, then it's like an ongoing process, and it's useless. They can pull the blanket on each other, and from each other, and then say, oh, you started it, but in the end it doesn't matter, because the fact cheating is still there. So,
and it's whatever happens is a combination of few things. one is not satisfied with the person you're with, you're looking for someone else, and then not being satisfied emotionally too, and not having enough sex is the major reason which breaks the person, because once the hormones are high, it keeps kicking, and with the desire and the high level of hormones, you're willing to do anything you can, to satisfy yourself, whether it's a man or a woman. And they won't know until they had sex with somebody else that whether it was right or wrong. They had no
But it
reason
is
to believe.
wrong. Look, if you are with one man, let's look at the female perspective because I'm a woman, right? If you are with one man and you chose that man to be your partner, right? And why you do know that it's a bad thing. You know it, whether like it's like why would you choose to do it? You're doing it to yourself, you're doing it to you first of all, and then you're doing it to your partner, because that disrespect, that by cheating on the partner, you can't hide it for a very long time. It will be revealed at some point. You can either get knocked up by that other guy, who you might find more attractive at this moment, but it will be revealed later on.
Because the desire and the hormones are so strong that they overcome the belief system you have. You could have principles, you could have anything, but if the other side is pulling you so strong, you won't know. It's hard, it just.
No, you will know it, Peter, still. It's just you choose emotions over rational mindset. You go for the emotions. And this is when emotions can ruin your life, guys. You have to be in charge of your emotions. You can absolutely choose whom to fall in love with because you are controlling your emotions, not other way around. Not your emotions are controlling you. This is the perfect example of disaster. It's a perfect advice for disaster. Follow your heart, follow your emotions. No, you don't do it, because they can ruin your life. Literally, they can ruin the life of your children. Look, I was reading Anna Karenina by Tolstoy, right? And he was writing actually about the family. And when the woman had everything, she had the status, she had the good family, she married well, her husband was the minister, right? And she had a child with this man, so she was happily married. And then she sees this other guy who just shows up in the wall, and then he falls and he tries to drag her really hard, and then she resists, but she falls for it, right? And then she dates this guy while she's married. Her husband, of course, suspects it. And, back then, the divorce was not supported by the culture. Now we see the difference here, that everybody is divorced, You see how it changed. So divorce is a normal condition of a family now. Back then it wasn't supported. So Tolstoy was actually describing Karenina as the main hero. But somehow now throughout life, we have twisted this story. And now she became this hero, and her lover became this hero, and her husband is just, the broken man without emotions, without feelings. But I mean, he was trying to protect her from herself, right? He was trying to drag her back into the family. He was taking care of his reputation, and she was blaming him for it. You take too much care about your reputation. You don't care about anything else. Well, excuse me, but if a man is not taking care of his reputation, then what happens to his wife? What happens to his family? What happens to his child?
Right. It's important.
If a man lets go of like all of the principles and just follows his heart, it's not acceptable. It's not going to lead to good outcomes. And it didn't. In her case, she got knocked out by this Chad alpha dude, you call it whatever you want.
Yes.
And then she was trying to make it okay by reuniting her ex-husband, let's say, with a lover.
Yeah.
So she was trying to make it okay, but it's not okay. And then even then, after she was living with that alpha dude, the Chad, she wasn't happy with her life, so she decided to jump under the train.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So where do your emotions lead you? I don't think it's a smart way to end your life,
Yeah.
And
Emotions, that's why they always say emotions are something which is not you. So they say control your emotions. It means that's not you. Your mind is not you. You are a person who controls all these things so that you can live your life peacefully and happily. If you don't control, it's like I give you an example of the marriage by 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 telling you a small story. It's like when we start a fire, right? We we have a lot of wood, pile of wood, and then we put a little spark in it, and there's a little kindlings in it, and there's a big logs of fire in it, wood. So when the fire starts, it has a lot of smoke, a lot of sparks, a lot of noise. It makes like big fire. But after like half hour, when the fire, the big log is burning, everything else stops. All the smoke is gone, all the sparks are gone. It's a nice smooth fire which burns for hours. So this is if you look at the whole thing, you'll see that's what the marriage is. In the beginning, the marriage has a lot of smoke, a lot of sparks, a lot of sound, but no heat in it. But as the time goes on, in 2 or 3 years, all the smoke and the sparks are gone, but the heat is there. When you get to that level of touching of heat with each other, then you stay there longer. If you are addicted to the smoke and the sparks and the noise, then you don't like the heat. So I want everybody to differentiate between the smoke and the sparks compared to the heat. Heat is heat, it gives you comfort. You don't, when you are married, you don't say a word, you don't exchange many things, but the heat is there always, it keeps you together. If you are addicted to the sparks and the smoke, then when that stops, you leave your marriage because you are addicted to that part. Then you go find somebody else which gives you smoke and sparks again. When
exactly.
that's done there, then you go to the third person because you don't know the difference, what is love, what is not.
Yeah.
So once you understand what love is, the heat, the log, the main log which is burning doesn't make any noise, any smoke, but it's there.
And I also
The-
think that it comes down to the nature of males and females. Guys, if you haven't watched the videos by Rollo Tomassi, again, link in the description box, go check his channel out and read his books, The Rational Male. He actually describes the female nature and the male nature too. So it comes down to the socio-sexual hierarchy, the alphas versus betas. And if a woman is married to a beta, she's going to hate him. Because if the man cannot maintain his framework and execute it and set up the guidelines and boundaries for his wife and for his family, for his children, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable, what kind of behavior. Because what happens a lot is women choose to marry these beta men who are the providers. right? Who are the submissive providers. They do as they are told. And then they might have some framework before they marry the woman, but then their framework is gone because they are more concerned about keeping the woman happy, and they are doing everything possible to satisfy her. But the moment they put that woman on the pedestal, the woman stops respecting the man, and she can do whatever she wants. Look, she already legally hooked him up. He's financially liable for her and for the children, right? He, in case of divorce, he has to pay for the alimony to the wife and for the child support, right? So he is too scared to demand his authority, really. He stops his framework pretty much right away, and then woman doesn't like it. She will go and find herself a chat. She will go and find herself an alpha man. If that man is, her husband is just giving her the things she wants. If he's just giving, but he's not asking anything in return. This doesn't work. It has to be an exchange of values. A man provides you with the social status, with security, with the money. A woman provides him with something else. It's usually sex, but it's not just sex, okay? It's loyalty, a relationship. You can ask any high-value guy or a man who, what does he want in the marriage, right? But it's not just sex, because he can find sex anyway. He doesn't have to marry a woman to find sex.
No.
He marries a woman so that he can commit to her, so that he can have a family with her, right? He can have children. He basically wants more responsibility, right? for having sex with the woman, because marriage, it's what it is. More responsibility for a man to have sex with his wife, so that there are consequences to that sex. But for some reason, women don't want any responsibility. When they get into the relationship with the man, when they marry the man, they think that they can just set the framework, and the man should comply with the female framework, so the woman gets everything. She gets resources, she gets the children. Oh my gosh, if she gets the children, she can use even her children as a leverage, to extract more resources from her husband. And then she states the terms. In the modern society, 80% of decisions are taken by a woman in the family. And the man, it's like, okay, if I don't comply with you, she's going to leave me, take the kids from me, so his legacy is gone as well. And she's going to take 50% of what I own. Imagine a man has spent decades building the business, and now the woman, just by marrying this guy, she can take half of it, by default. And the legal system will support her, so she doesn't even have to put up with the man. She doesn't have to put as much effort. But then when she's done with this man, if this man doesn't respect himself, and if he doesn't state the framework and he doesn't execute it, the woman will go and find another guy. And this is what has happened in the book throughout. We see that at the moment Karenina was trying to execute his framework on his wife, she rebelled. She didn't like it, because he was telling her, look, what you're doing is not good. It's not right. But he did it late, when he already noticed, that she was going to the side. You have to do it right away. You have to let your woman know, you cheat on me, you are out. I'll replace you with somebody else. And there is a big pool of women out there, beautiful women, 18-year-old models born every single day. You can find, the problem is with men that they don't know their value. They don't know their worth. And they can't demand things from women. And this is bad for men. It's actually bad for the family as a whole, because your kids end up messed up if they are raised by the single mother. And it is an interesting fact, a single family father, right? He can raise kids no problem by himself. He can teach the girls the reality. He can show the girls what they can bring to the table in terms of relationship when they are dating another man, or even setting the guidelines for that man, how it used to be the dads met with their boyfriend to see and check whether that boyfriend is a suitable partner for their daughters or not. Now women just marry, I don't know,
from the blank, they don't know what,
they don't know the person, and
they don't have the guidelines, they don't have the knowledge, and all this knowledge comes from people you live with, those who have been through it. They give it to you. If you don't have it, you're not going to create it out of thin air. You don't know. I mean, you cannot say, oh, sit down, I'll learn myself. You can't. Someone has to teach you to live the way life should be, and then you grow from there. You cannot just start from the bottom, it's a lot of knowledge you need to grow up in society, or to live in what is right, what is wrong. Yes, people have to teach you,
Yeah, but what happens when those parents don't know what is right and what is wrong, because it was never taught in their families? It goes like a cycle behind, from the prior generations. Because if you were born into feminism, and a lot of people were, a lot of men are very feminized. They are very betatized, and they don't know any better unless they educate themselves and try to change their framework and work with themselves, because it's a self-development process. You can't just, there are a lot of men who are waking up now to this, because it's important, man. It's important to set the guidelines in the family and to be the leader in the family. And there can be only one leader in the family, as I've mentioned before. One leader, and it better be you, because if it's your woman, oh my gosh, you're headed into disaster, and your children will suffer the consequences of that choices, those choices that she's going to make, because she's not going to make rational choices.
Yeah, right. Yeah, she doesn't have that mindset to make rational choices,
Yeah. Some women are more rational than others, but it doesn't make us immune to the female nature. I can talk about it, but when it comes to me, I don't know what I'll do. Maybe I'll do what is in my DNA as a woman. This is why women can only be red-pilled aware, but it doesn't make them somehow, different from other women.
No, the choices you will make depends upon the experience you had, and where the experience comes from. Whatever you have seen your mother doing it when you were growing up, that's where it comes from. Or maybe your grandmother, because your mother learned from your grandmother.
Yes. And if your dad is not there to set the frameworks and lead you through the process and state the guidelines on you, you're going to be messed up. If you are not willing to listen to your dad, you will mess up more.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's very true. So, see, all starts from your grandmother, that your mother learned from your grandmother, and she learned from your great-grandmother. So it's all from generations,
Yeah.
And whatever is taught, we know, and we make decision upon, we know. Nothing else is coming from thin air or anything, and the best thing I would tell you, don't stop learning new things. Don't stop watching people so that you learn more,
Yeah.
Because whatever
learn from other people's mistakes, guys. Learn from other people's mistakes. Don't do those mistakes if you can help it. It was a very interesting discussion, Piki. I have to cut it down here because we are running out of time. Thank you guys so much for watching us.
See you, Elena.
Give us a like, subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Piki.